Your name is Larry. Larry Laffer. You've arrived in beautiful Lost Wages without luggage. The airline lost it. Without a hotel reservation, you forgot to get one. And without a clue. You've never had one. You exit the cab. The hot, dry air of Lost Wages hits you in the face like a hard slap.
Wir sind hier auf der E3, um mit der Spiellegende Al Lowe zu sprechen, dem Macher von Leisure Suit Larry. Al, what have you done the last couple of years?
I've had a wonderful last year since our Kickstarter campaign. Before that, I was retired. But about a year ago, Paul Trow came to me and said, "Would you be interested in doing a Larry game?" And I said, "Yeah, but how will we get the money?" And the next day, the two of us happened to be at a conference where Tim Schafer had just started his Kickstarter campaign. Tim said, "Al, why don't you do one of these?" And I turned to Paul and I said, "Paul, why don't you do one of these?" And that's what we did. Within 2 weeks, we had our Kickstarter campaign up. It was quite successful. We fortunately gathered $750,000 and gave us enough to do most of the development work on a new game. We took the Leisure Suit Larry and the Land of the Lounge Lizards game. That was the original Larry game. And kind of threw everything away. We started with no source code, with no graphics, with no animation, with no music, no sound effects, no anything, other than a few lines of the dialogue that we retained. We added 10 times the dialogue. We added music everywhere. We added wonderful sound effects and great new hand-drawn animation, all high retinal display quality, backgrounds and animation, and just everything, brought it up to date, and added voice acting, which comedy needs. This is a comedy game. It's supposed to be funny. It's not supposed to be a game where you get through quickly. Rather, it's a game where you want to spend your time and savor everything that's there. And so we made it a very rich environment. There's places where you can click on almost everything with almost every one of the icons. So we have action verbs icons for walking and talking and all the usual things. We also have a zipper icon that enables us to do a lot of funny stuff that it's usually one of two functions, but it always gives us a chance to throw in some humorous dialogue. And so I want to reiterate, I want to emphasize to people, the game is not about getting through the story and finishing the game. It's about savoring the journey along the way and finding every place that you can click and get a laugh, because there's laughs buried everywhere.
In what way are you involved with the making of the game?
Well, I'm the overall designer. I make all the overall decisions in that. The writer of most of the comedy is a professional comedian that we've hired, Josh Mandel, who's a wonderful, funny person and easily picked up on the style of humor. But I've written a lot of the dialogue, and a lot of it's mine. But I was in charge of making sure that everything came out right. So I've been heavily involved every day, every week since we started the Kickstarter campaign.
So, are you in the game as well?
Any actual work? Okay. Yeah, I have no actual work to do. Yeah.
Just as we editors don't. We editors.
Right. Yes, I'm an editor.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's right.
Are you in any way in the game? Have you a role in the game?
No, other than I'm the tutorial. I did the voiceover work for the tutorial, and I teach you how to play the game, because there are a lot of people nowadays who aren't familiar with the old style of adventure game playing, where you select a verb and then you click it on various objects. So we did a tutorial that walks you through all that graphically and explains to you exactly how to play the game and what to do.
Guys in our office played the game, and they said it looked quite lovely. But
it's beautiful.
They were not so happy with the controls, with the verbs.
Well, I think the controls have been improved a lot, and I think what you saw was a beta version, and the last month we've spent fine-tuning the game, and I think you'll be pleased. I think it'll work quite well when the last version I played, I was playing an Android tablet version, and it was quite responsive. Worked well for me.
Are you back for good now in the gaming industry?
Good? I'm not there for good, no. I'm there for evil. Yeah, no, exactly. Our plans are to remake all the Leisure Suit Larry games that I was involved with, the ones that I claim, Over the next few years, you'll see more and more episodes from Larry, and we're going to give a new generation a whole new chance to discover this set of games.
So your retirement is officially over, and you're not going back actually to retirement?
Well, I am planning to not work the 80-hour weeks that I used to work in the old days, but on the other hand, I'm having a great time re-exploring these games in the new medium, and it's a great deal of fun. So I think you can. I will predict that you see many more Larry games from us.
Seeing how the Kickstarter campaign went, did you expect to do that again? Another Kickstarter campaign for a project?
We might do that. It all depends. Kickstarter has turned into a wonderful way to show the level of interest in a product before you create the product. Our goal is to make enough money by selling this game and to fund the next production. But we'll see what happens. I don't know. That's not my department. I don't do the finance part. That's Paul.
So we can look forward to the second part of the game now.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
so,
yeah.
And you're still working? You're already working on that?
We've started development already. Yep, we're doing the preliminary steps now that the first one's winding down. We're ramping up the second.
Going back to the Kickstarter campaign.
Yes.
A lot of developers actually give out their game quite early to have the community beta test for them. Is that a thing for you, or do you think you should do internal Q&A for the game and then give it to beta testers?
Okay. Now, the Kickstarter backers actually paid for an alpha version of the game, and other people paid for a beta version of the game. And we sent out the alpha version quite a while ago, and it was truly an alpha. I mean, it was buggy and didn't play well at all. But it gave the people a chance to see things early on and get a sneak peek before anyone else did. Our beta version has been out for many weeks now, and so it was something that certain Kickstarter people wanted to contribute so that they got an early look, and we were happy to oblige. And we got a lot of great feedback from them. I have to tell you that the Kickstarter backers did a wonderful job of telling us what they liked, what they didn't like, and we made some changes because of that.
But you still have to do the beta testing for the game. The normal beta testing.
Our beta testers were the Kickstarter backers, and they did a great job. We set them up with a forum, and they registered their bugs on the forum, and it worked quite well.
Do you think that's a good thing?
Absolutely. Well, sure. You're having people test the game who care deeply about it. I mean, deeply enough that they contributed their own money, and not just a regular amount of money, a lot of money for the privilege of doing that. And so, sure, I think it was a great way, much better than to have some outside, testing company do it.
Have you played through the game, through the new game?
Absolutely, sure. Yeah.
How many times?
I've started it many more times than I finished it, obviously, because we have certain bugs where you get to and you can't go any farther. At one point, we installed a bug where the taxi broke down, so you could only go through the first part of the game, and then you were stuck. We've gone through a lot of different plays like that, but we've seen the whole game, and yeah, everything is there, and it's all working well. What we've done the last month, we thought we would be done at the end of May. But we extended it to the end of June because we felt like there was a chance for us to polish the game and put more refinement into it and make it more beautiful. And that's what we've done the last month, is really polish it.
Does save early, save often still apply to the game?
Not really. We kind of took that philosophy of mine, which I've promoted in all those games, and we implemented it automatically so that as you play the game, you are continuously saving the game, so your progress is always there. And we did a lot of balancing in this game. There was a lot of things that people loved about the old products and hated about the old products. And so what we tried to do was balance it out, where for example, at the beginning there's an age test. So we threw away all the questions we had that were 25 years old, and we wrote all new questions. But then we said, well, how many people don't really want to do the age questions? I mean, they want to see them because that was our memory from the old product. But what we did was, if you pass it once, you never have to pass it again. You can just load your game and go on without that. A similar way was death. Death was a huge thing back in the 80s for Sierra games. In the 90s, not so much. We kind of got away from it. But I thought, well, we want to keep the death in the game. So what we do is, and when you make a fatal mistake, we save the game automatically. You never know it. Right at the point where you make the mistake, we give you the death scene, and we've got a funny scene afterwards for dying, and then we put you right back where you were a second ago. So save early, save often is now our job, and so you can just play and enjoy.
Are there many, opportunities to die in the game?
Oh yeah, you can screw up a lot. yeah, I think all of the ways that you used to be able to die are there, plus there are many more new ones.
Are there any projects in your drawer that you would have liked to develop a couple of years ago, and maybe you're now able to do them?
Yeah, the one thing that really always bothered me about the game, there were some puzzles that I just felt at the time they were good, but after them and after years of watching people and having people email me and say, "Why the hell? Why did you do that?" It gave us a chance on this product to reverse all those things, to take out the dumb puzzles and replace them with better ones. And I got to emphasize to you, there are at least 50%, maybe 100% additional puzzles, and the puzzles that are there aren't solved in the way that they used to be. You'll recognize the locations, you'll recognize some of the characters from the old game, but if you think you know how to get through the game, you don't know how to get through the game, because we changed it. Everything's different.
What I meant before is, like, do you have any other game projects in your drawer?
Right now, Replay Games owns the rights to remake the Larry series. Our goal is to obviously obtain the rights at some point and make new games from that. But right now we're focused on getting this one out and getting the next one started. So,
what do you think about the Larry games you were not involved with? So bad?
Well, gosh, they were like receiving a video from your son's kidnappers. On the one hand, you're glad to see he's still alive, but on the other hand, oh my God, look what they've done to him. So it was painful. It was very painful to watch. I think the people doing them had some great ideas, but they kind of missed the point of the game. So to me, the point of the game was to make fun of guys trying to have sex. That was a funny topic to me, and they looked at it in a different way. They thought it was about tits and ass, and I never thought that.
So
that's why, in my games, the women were always the superior beings. They were always smarter, prettier, everything. The women were the better. Larry was the loser, so they kind of missed the point, I thought.
So no tits, ass, and unity in the new Larry game?
Unity, yes, we have unity, but this game's much more about titillation and risque and double entendre and that not no. I don't think there's any total nudity, so no. But who the hell wants to see pixelated nudity?
Well, in Germany, you wouldn't have to do that.
We have the internet.
Yeah,
you've heard of the internet.
Yeah, right? I know. But in Germany,
all the porn you want for free.
In Germany, you wouldn't have to do that. You wouldn't have to pixelate anything.
It's all pixels, Everything is pixels, man. So that it comes out on June 27th.
Yeah.
It's going to be for PCs and Macs, Ouya, iOS, Android, phones, tablets, everything. So we'll be everywhere by July 1st.
At the same time?
Hopefully, yep. And in 7 languages, 5 original languages and 2 more, Russian and Portuguese, I think, coming out in July. So, yeah, great.
Yeah, thanks for talking to you.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
we just have to see that our bellies don't drop together.
Yeah,
I guess that's not sexy. That's not sexy at all. So no retire. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not doing that so often.
You're not used to holding something so big in your hand.
No, not that goes to my mouth anyway. Very good.
So.
Now I lost my train of thought.
Sorry. I started talking about porn and he got off track.
I got all confused. Yeah, I guess I'm good.